Hi and welcome to another edition of seekingchange.co.uk. As I said on the previous week's video, I'll be looking at over the next 2 to 3 weeks about the impact of breakups of a relationship and how it impacts on children. What I'd like to look at today is just a bit more in depth in that from the first video last week, and if you haven't caught up with that, if you just download and have a look at week 26, then you'll get the kind of run of the process, if you like, or the continuity. So what I'd like to look at today is how you may be able to engage better in order to make the transition process for the children much better. Ideally, and unfortunately it doesn't happen all that often, but ideally each parent or partner should be able to talk together in a respectful way for the sake of the children. If that can happen, then the children can accommodate the change much more easy. They don't see as though they have to support or defend each or either of the partners and the parents. So when you're kind of working out that the relationship is ending or is in process of possibly ending, then having arguments and having disagreements should be not just when the children are in bed, but actually outside of the home in an environment that can be one where you won't get into conflict. Ideally that would be a relationship counsellor such as myself, and then you can have a third party involved who could help you through this process of change. Relationship counsellors are not always about making healthy relationships in the sense of keeping couples together. We also do an awful lot of work about keeping couples connected whilst they are not together for the sake of the children. And so you can have some really good dialogue within the counselling process, whereby the children's needs, wishes can be talked about, looked at, and hopefully considered in the process of change. So when you're talking and being respectful to each other in front of the children or in the children's environment, then each partner has to be able to put their emotions of the breakup or the change in the relationship to one side. That's never easy for anybody. But if you can do it, then it won't get involved in the process of negotiation and compromise that will need to be done for the sake of the children. So the really one thing that you need to consider in this process is that we're doing this for the kids, we're not doing it for us. This is not a process for the adults, it's a process for the children. And if you can keep that at the forefront of your mind, then it makes the process easier. And the children need three things, generally speaking. They need to know that the parents love them, which is usually not a problem and not an issue. That they can talk for the sake of their children respectfully and calmly, and that they are secure in the sense that whoever is looking after the children, then they know they're there and they know when the other person will be back or will be around or when they're going to come and visit. With most relationship breakups, unfortunately, because the parents, the partners, won't be in the same place at the same time, then the children will be looked after independently of each partner, and there'll be very little shared time together. If you can do shared time, then obviously that's a good thing, but it needs to be in a way that the children don't foresee that actually you're going to get back together and raise their hopes or their wishes. So they need to know exactly what that shared time's about, that it's not about mummy and dad getting back together, it's about sharing time with the children for the children's sake. And so when you're identifying how you put into place this process of who looks after who when, then it's a good idea to have a calendar, something that the children can refer to on a daily basis, in order for them to see that there is a time when they will be with that other person. If you try and just give the children understanding that, oh, I'll see you next week, then that isn't really a good process for the child. And they may have a different understanding of what the next week is and when next week is. If you can actually relate it to a calendar and put times on those calendar dates, then that is much more helpful for them. They can see it in real time and they can refer back to it at any point, so in case they forget. And that needs to be something that's shared with both partners, and so that either one can give that indication to the children when they're going to be around and they're going to be connected. The next few video clips over the weeks I'm going to do will continue this theme. So if you want to see how you can best be effective for the children, then it will be a really good idea to watch the next few. Take care. And if you do need any further information, then the website has a number of chapters on these issues and these items that you can refer back to or download to take away with you. See you later. Bye.